Guys, I know I say I'm going to try and make this a short video, and every time I do it ends up being 2 hours long. But we're definitely going to try today. I got some things on the desk, and I have been working with a lovely life coach. I'm pretty sure she noticed how scatterbrained I was in my videos, and the one thing I do gotta say is taking a moment to breathe and kind of writing down what I need to get done for the day has like literally cleared a lot of things up, and got me on track to just being more all around more productive, just sitting down for 10 minutes each morning, thinking about things, doing a little bit of positive thinking, and making a few lists, which I have a lovely journal here. One of my subscribers actually sent this to me. I remember the box and what was in it. I just can't remember who it came from. And I'm sorry about that. But I thought it was just absolutely beautiful. So it's been sitting on my bedside for a while, and I started using it. So now I do, of course, I do my goals to start out the day. What are goals? And the first goals that pop in my head, I try and do like 3 to 5 of them here. Today's inspirational song, a positive quote, and a Bible verse. And I've been doing that every morning. And of course, I don't really want to show you those other pages because there's some personal stuff in here. But on this one, it's a little bit more, it's personal, but it's not like just information, so I can really share it with you. And of course, these are my future long-term goals that I had time to sit and think about for the morning. This is just whatever thoughts come into my head when I'm finished. So this is like my third page in essence that I write, but technically, you know, if you flip the page, it's the second one. So I do the first thing, goals, and then I do my song of the day, positive quote or quote of the day, and my Bible verse. Then I come back here and I do home life. So I get up at about 8, 9 in the morning sometimes. And so I just write down all the stuff that I'm going to do. And then later in the day, I go to work. So, you know, I got to pack for work and shower. And then when I get to work, I do have the luxury, and it's very wonderful, to operate and do a few things for little Miss Daisy, or at least, you know, like talking with you guys on Instagram and maybe making a journal or two. So it is a little nice. And so I'll get to do that. And then of course, but at the end of the day, I want to try and write more because I do have a set of novels that I'm starting to publish. And then of course, come home, get ready for bed, and start all over. So this is just the basics. Eventually I'll get to the get home list, what I'm going to do, you know, lay out clothes for the day, stuff like that. But I'll do that as soon as I kind of get like the home life and the workflow on course. And today I felt really good about it. I wanted to share with you guys. And that probably was our 5 minutes. All right, now our little tutorial. So if you guys remember, we did these envelopes the other day. And I think it was an hour-long tutorial. It may have been a little bit longer. Trust me. It was the first video I edited with the new software, so a lot of footage got deleted. And a lot of footage was edited shorter, so you will definitely see a difference in video length and editing and all that other stuff. So let's get started. And right away I can already see there's a line there, and there from where it was folded up into the packaging. And these are my fabric scissors. I'm just going to cut along these lines. And I didn't even tell you guys what we are making today. I know I'm terrible, but if you guys watched the previous video, you kind of already know what we're making. So I am a big lover of Mirror Me Small Art. I will try to remember to link the video where she did it in the description box. So you guys can, you know, if you want to give the original creator credit, you can hop on over to her channel and check it out. But these are kind of wet wipes turned into flowers. And, you know, whenever we get artsy and stuff, I love having wet wipes while I create because it's just so much easier to clean up your mess. And you can see some of the spots on here. I sprinkled it with what I had going on because it didn't have as much texture as I like, so I add a little bit more before I set these off to dry. You know, I cleaned up my mess and then I added a little bit more color because I wanted them to be extra pretty for when we sat down to do this, because yellow is just growing on me right now, and I think it's just because of the season. And at my parents' house, you know, they have all 4 seasons, and they're less than 50 miles from where I'm at. So I can go down there, enjoy all 4 seasons, and then come home and boil to death, as most of you Tucsonans know. So now that we have the perfect size strips, and I want to say this is about 2.5 inches. I don't have my ruler, but I can tell you now, once you craft so much and measure so many things, it kind of gets ingrained in your head. So what I want to do, and I don't want to take a pen and do it, but I want to draw like a wave, an imaginary wave. And you can draw it with a pen if you want. I would suggest doing it to color match whatever project you're working on, because depending on your ink, it's going to bleed. And it's also, you know, you can't just cut it out without, you know, encountering more problems later on down the road. So if you color it, it's going to stay. Unless you use like a sewer's pen that is able to come off really easy. Alright, now let's, you know, do some little wavies, small as you want. I kind of wanted to do a little bit bigger ones to so you could kind of see what I was working with. And we have this string. I'm pretty sure I grabbed other string. Yes, I have this string as well. So whenever I have loose string, I think these containers came from Walmart and they had cakes in them. I know I'm terrible. I think I go for about 1 a week, you know, to kind of spoil myself a little bit, especially if I've been doing really, really good. I'll have, you know, maybe 1 cake a week, sometimes 2 if I'm feeling either really, really bad or, you know, exceptionally excellent, depending on the mood of the week. How many of you are with me? So, we don't need that big old needle. I know a lot of people love this. I mean, it's one of my favorite little tins. Of course. Eye needle. I was gonna use that, you know. Okay, so we got plenty of needles here. Now I just have to remember to go pick that one up when I'm done. Alrighty. So at the end of our thread, and you can coffee stain your thread too, or ink stain your thread. This way, you know, it kind of matches your project. But we're not going to see this thread. At least you shouldn't when you're done. So it should be fine. I want to start with the smaller one here. And we're just going to go in and go like this. Really easy, just some big stitches going on. You know, nothing crazy. And then we're going to move on to our next one. Of course, you know, we could probably attach this one because it's going to match up. So you're probably going to get about 2 flowers out of this. Give or take, you know, depending on how much fabric you want to put into each one. All right, 2, and let's see. You know, be sure when you drag it down, you want it to match up. That way it doesn't look awkward or out of place. All right, now we're just gonna go ahead and pull this to the end. All right, I thought I put a knot. My look, they would have popped off, right? Okay, We're just gonna go ahead and set this and set it aside. Now let's go ahead and tie another knot here. All right, we got, yeah, we have 4 here. All right, I like this colorful one. I feel like I kind of want that one to be in the middle. I want the lighter one to be on the outside, and the darker one to be in the center. And because I want this to curl around in the middle, I'm going to start from the outside and go in. And of course, now we're going to pull it down. And don't worry about if you're slow. You'll gain speed. It's perfectly okay. It's perfectly normal. And of course, on this last one, if you want it to curl in, just make sure your needle comes out on the back side. Alrighty. Now, of course, you know, if you had more flowers that you wanted to do, you'd pull this down and you'd cut the string again. And now we have all this string here for another flower. But I am obviously not going to make another one because I only have enough for 2. So I'm going to put my lid on top of my needle so I don't lose any more of them. Oh, yeah, see? The little bit of blondness is coming back. So these are ideally what we're kind of going to be creating. Something similar to this. And these ones I got at Hobby Lobby. So you can tell that they're so adorable. So cute. I really, really like them. And they're just gonna go over really well, I think. This one has to be my favorite. It's really, really big. And of course, you know, just look at that. I mean, oh my, that's gonna be so pretty. So we'll have 2 of these envelopes with these beauties, 1, 2, and the third one with our homemade beauty. And of course, we'll have an extra one to do whatever we want with. So let's go ahead and put these little guys away. All right, I'm gonna pull up the chair. Okay, so which one do I want to work with? I'm feeling this one. It just talks to me. Okay. So of course, you know, you want to loosen up the gather a little bit. Nothing crazy. Of course, I forgot the hot glue gun. But you don't have to use the hot glue gun. This is why we have string. So if you don't have a hot glue gun, or you know, you're like me and you're just too darn bleh to plug it in and put away my needle. Apparently I lost my put away needle. Now I got 2 needles to find. Yay! Oh. I could have swore it. Oh, there it is. I see it. It's in there. Okay. See, we could have saved ourselves some time, guys. This shot will probably be left on the floor. Alright. So let's go ahead and take this string. We're just going to tie a little knot here so we know where we're at. There. Alrighty. Alright, now we're going to pinch the spot, and see how this is kind of curling inward, and that's on the outside. We're going to make this the center of our flower. We're just going to kind of rotate it and make sure that our pinch stays together. This is where our little dot is. Just rotate it around. Now, if you're really, really feeling lazy, you can wrap this around the bottom and tie it in a knot, and you will technically have a flower. See, look at that little flower. But I like mine to be a little bit more secure, and it'll be a little bit more poofy this way too. Let's go ahead and tie this in a knot. And it's not wrapped tight either. You can tell because it didn't fall apart. It's just in a nice, comfortable little, you know, spindle. Not too much, not too little. And I kind of use the surface, whatever I'm working on. If I don't have that, then I usually have a little pair of tweezers, medical grade style tweezers that stay in my my tool bag. I'll use those. They work amazing. I love them. Okay, I want that to not move. Or you could roll them up and use hot glue. You know, maybe your little station doesn't have a hot plug-in for a hot glue gun, or like some of us. I know that I have sections of the room that are just a complete tragedy, and I don't want a hot glue gun anywhere near there. I feel like it might burn the house down. All right. I want to go through here and grab up some of this right here that seems like it would slip. All right. Now we have this string hanging out here. We can just tie them off. Not too tight, but you know, snug. Snug is good. And then of course you have some strings hanging out the back that you can tie it to something, or you know, something along those lines. And look at that. Now you have a really pretty flower. I think I actually did one of these kind of in the middle of a tutorial. I never did it as a standalone. Either that or I did it. No, I didn't. I actually did it on a miniature, and Debbie Oodle has that miniature. So if you want to see a beautiful picture of it, head on over and talk to her on Instagram. She might be willing to show it off for you. Oh my, you could also do that. But that's where my first official one is at that I played with. Of course you can, I mean, look, and it even adds extra accent to whatever you're working with. Oh my, it's just wow. And of course I love this one. That's really gonna add that extra special touch to it. For mine though, and I'm not gonna do it on camera because beading is so tedious. And I probably won't get it done today if I sit down and do it. But I think maybe tomorrow I will sit down and film a time lapse for you guys using these. Yes, I think those would be magnificent. They're beautiful. So we would have Fireline, Advanced Technology, braided bead thread. Which is funny because this is also, you can go down and get it at Walmart, and it's fishing line. As a matter of fact, I bought this at a bead shop. Oh, it doesn't have the sticker on it, but I bought this one at Walmart. So, and it's cheaper to buy a bigger roll at Walmart than it is to go to a bead shop and get the smaller one. These are the needles you will need. John James, 25 needles, and it doesn't say what size the needles are, but I can tell you from experience, these guys are really, really tiny. I mean, really, really tiny. Yeah, so hope you guys can see that. That's usually the type of needle that I would work with. I will be, and I did mention it before, and I have done one. I will be getting back into beading on some of my more special journals. So hopefully we will be seeing that soon, especially with the time management getting better and going on so wondrously. No, I feel like that's too bright. I'm going to stick with these two, and I will do a time-lapse video and release it after this video comes out. The time-lapse will be released the next day. And then, of course, you'll see it up on Instagram, or you will see maybe a little reveal video on YouTube. I mean, we can most definitely do a reveal video on how they're going to turn out. I think this one's going to go here. Yeah. And we shall see. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I hope to see you soon, and that you guys really love these envelopes, because I know they're just magnificent and I'm completely in love with them. I was a little off-put by some, like this one, it's a little dark, but now that I have the accents to go with it to really bring it out, they're going to be beautiful. So don't discredit your work before it's done. You may not like it halfway through, but when it's finished, you may love it. Don't toss it out. Just keep going through it, because that's the only way you can work through your creative blocks, is to push your way through and get to the other side. At least when the project's finished, even if you don't like it, someone else might love it. You can give it to a family member, you can give it to a friend. And you can just say it's some piece of adversity that you had to work through before you moved on to some more projects that inspired your creativity even more. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye!